subject, man. Let's talk about the legend himself, Mr. Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose announced his retirement on Instagram 2 days ago. I kind of knew this was going to happen when he put up a video on his Instagram. And the reason I say that, Pooh don't really use social media like that. So, matter of fact, I didn't know he had an Instagram. Like, when he posted it, I was like, oh, shit, Derrick Rose got an IG? I went to follow him. I didn't think he had an IG. So, that was news to me. And putting all that together, I kind of knew that he was retiring. He announced his retirement yesterday, 16 years. We talked about this a little bit on Summer Sessions yesterday. It ended up being a very, very hilarious conversation. So you check that out right now on Patreon. Summer Sessions, episode 189. What we call the episode? Niggas who be in classroom all day, some shit like that.
Niggas who be one day in class, one classroom
all day type niggas. Yeah, yeah. Check that out right there. But Derrick Rose, man, this is again weird, not weird, but kind of like surreal for me for a couple reasons. One, Derrick Rose is he's in my top 5 favorite players. He's probably like at 4. I talked about this on Summer Sessions. Bang shit on me because he said I had too many all-time greats in my top 5.
Too many all-time greats in his top 5, man.
I had too many all-time greats.
You gotta have players that wasn't necessarily
underrated niggas.
Yeah, you gotta have the underrated niggas. You can't have
Pappy laughed at my list, and then Pappy went on to name 4 league MVPs and 2 niggas who were considered the GOAT in his, so that didn't have no merit. At least Bang had some underground kings on his list. But my top 5 favorite is really honestly a top 6 because my 1A is Mike. Mike represents my childhood. My 1B is Kobe. That's my high school years, college years. And then number 3 will be Steph Curry. Number 4, Derrick Rose. And then number 5 is my man who just got announced he getting his jersey retired, Mr. Vince Carter. I was a huge Vince Carter fan. So, but also Derrick is my age. I first time I met Derrick was when we were both in high school together. He was a Simeon. The big Simeon big 3 was Derrick Rose, Tim Flowers, Kevin Johnson. I went to grammar school with Kevin Johnson. He lived on the same block as me. The first time I met Derrick was like our freshman year. He was a Simeon, I was a Curie. I didn't know obviously what he would become. That was the first time I met him. And just seeing his whole run. I was at the UIC Pavilion our senior year when they played Oak Hill. I remember Dickie V calling the game. And everybody just, we finna be on ESPN, nigga. It was a fun time to be a high school student, to see all of that, to see him, become.
Was that the last? Let me interrupt just asking this question.
Yeah.
Was that the last great high school basketball time?
I think so.
Even though I'm old, I pay attention to all sports. I haven't really seen high school basketball be at a fever pitch since then in Chicago.
Yeah, it was LeBron, then it was Pooh. Like, if we just talking about all together, it kind of feels like. I feel like everything else is like college based. But just to see him get to that point, last time I saw him was 2 years ago. We had the same flight. And that's the funniest thing about that flight. I was leaving LA to come back home, and it was me on a flight. It was Spice Adams on a flight and Derrick Rose on a flight. And all I could think, this just tells you kind of nigga I am. I was like, if this plane goes down, all it's gonna say in the headlines is Spice Adams, Derrick Rose, and others die. I was like, nigga, I'm finna be in the others. That one went through my head. Don't ask why that went through my head, but that's what went through my head when we was on that plane. And that was the second time I ran into him. I briefly talked to him when we were waiting for our bags. But to see him make it, and then also we see a nigga that's your age retire. It's kind of weird, but just see everything is, and just see the outpouring of love he's gotten. Of course, in Chicago, he's barbershop status in Chicago. If you're not from Chicago and you don't know who barbershop status is, there's a couple niggas who's barbershop status. It's Michael Jordan, it's Harold Washington, it's Barack Obama, it's Walter Payton, and it's Derrick Rose. Now, those are the barbershop status niggas who you got in there. Derrick's in there. And to see everything accomplished, even though his prime was so short, it's really only 3 years. Being the youngest league MVP, being rookie of the year, taking the Bulls to the Eastern Conference Finals, somewhere they hadn't been without Jordan, somewhere they ain't been since. and just to see how live he had the city. You know, when he tore his ACL, that was the second worst moment of my sports fandom. Number one, obviously, when the Bears lost the Super Bowl, but that was number two. Even though the Bulls actually won that game, that was a sick moment. Honestly, my super NBA fandom. I used to be a bigger NBA fan than I was NFL fan. My super NBA fandom died that day, but just to see how he was able to kind of get it back on, and seeing kind of the second life he had that 1 year with the Knicks, scoring 50 points with the Timberwolves, and now he's able to do whatever he wants to do. And he is ridiculously rich. Derrick is one of the most paid niggas in NBA history. You got to give up to him too. It just was good to see his love, and I hope the Bulls actually do something right and retire his number one jersey, because you want to be real about it. And this is no disrespect to Jerry Sloan. This is no disrespect to Bob Love. This is not no disrespect to anybody else who got that jersey up there, United Center Rafters. When we talk about the three most important players, we're not including Phil Jackson. It's Michael Jeffrey Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and it's Derrick Rose. Those are the three most important Bulls in the history. And I see a lot of people in the media, a lot of fans on that side, you know what side I'm talking about, saying he shouldn't get his jersey retired. Hall of Fame is a different discussion. I would love to see Pooh in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's going to get in there. I would love to see it. But we got to stop treating jersey retirements like this is a Hall of Fame induction. And we also got to stop acting like the Bulls are just this severe, like a lot of great players. But this is not the Lakers. This is not the Celtics. You got to have a higher accomplishment to be in there. Like, I honestly don't think Kevin Garnett should be in the Boston Celtics Raptors. If you want to be real, that's a different discussion. Derrick should be in there. If you want to be real, there's probably only 8 great players. Who? I don't think Kevin Garnett should have a jersey retired as a Celtic.
I thought you said Kevin McHale. I'm like,
no, definitely Kevin.
I agree Garnett. With you with the Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett shouldn't have his jersey up in the Celtic Raptors. But those are storied franchises with multiple eras. The Bulls ain't that. The Bulls have maybe had 8 great players in the history of their franchise. So I hope that the Bulls do something right and give him his day and put that number one in the jersey. It's kind of unofficially retired anyway. We've seen 2 or 3 players try to wear one, and the fan base was just not going for it. So I hope Jerry Reinsdorf, hope Michael Reinsdorf, and I hope Arturas Karnisovas do the right thing. And I'm not saying it has to be this year, but within the next 2 to 3 years, bring him back and get that number one jersey retired. Bang, I know we talked about this a little bit on Summer Sessions last night, but just tell me what you feel about his career, and the chances are that he will get his jersey retired.
Okay. Orlando, Artis Gilmore is a Hall of Fame, but just let you know. I'm not old enough to ever see a Artis Gilmore game, my nigga, so don't even say shit. But that nigga is like was one of like the greatest centers of all time at one point. But nah, I'm you know what, low key, I'm not a fan of jersey retirements. I'm not a fan of that.
I want to hear this tape. Why are you not a fan?
Because of the Boston Celtics. Like, damn near every jersey is retired, so you got niggas coming in with weird ass numbers. Like, don't nobody want to see no game with a nigga playing basketball with the number 49 because you retired all these goddamn numbers. I am a fan of Ring of Honors. Like, I'm a Ring of Honor guy. I'm a, like how Dallas got their Ring of Honor and how like
that's
Denver
what the Bears need to have.
I'm a fan of Ring of Honors because jerseys to me, all right, man, it's more than the jersey. It's the player in it. That's why I like Ring of Honors. If you wanna just keep a nigga from wearing 23, of course, like 23 should be retired across the league. Like if you do
it should be retired across sports.
That it should be like that. That is the only jersey like that one, and like 32 is like some jerseys by certain people should just not be worn, right? But after that though, I'm a Ring of Honor guy. I believe that should be it. Plus, there should be like a Hall of Fame wing in your stadium that has all of that memorabilia and all of that stuff. So that's why I am not a fan of jersey retirements. I'm a fan of Ring of Honors. And I also believe you could do that a lot quicker too. So while if you retire this jersey, I wouldn't be tripping because, yeah, let's retire that man's jersey since y'all do retire jerseys. But Derrick Rose definitely is a member of the Bulls Ring of Honor. I guess that's the shit that they tried to do last year and it didn't
Oh, actually,
go off well.
the Bulls do have a ring on it.
Yeah, because that's the shit that they tried to do last year and it didn't go off quite well. But yeah, it go off
nobody
well.
showed up.
Right, but Derrick Rose gonna show up. He gonna show up for the crib, and that's how you honor that man. Bulls Ring of Honor. But if you retire his jersey, I'm cool too. I'm cool with that too.
Dante, you are a South Sider like me. What I've learned over the last 24 hours is a lot of West Side niggas don't have memories of Derrick Rose.
I don't have a Derrick Rose. Yeah, I don't have a Derrick Rose personal memory.
Yeah, that's what I didn't know. That just tells you if you're not from Chicago, the differences between the sides. Tell me, your memories of Derrick Rose, and do you think his jersey should be retired?
Well, it's crazy because, I went to high school. I went to Thornwood, which is in the South Burbs, probably 10, 15 minutes outside of the city. But when you go in further games, but we went to UIC because Thornwood, we had a game to go downstate. And after we played, we won, and we was walking out, and the Simeon game was starting, G. And this nigga caught a oop so crazy. Like, we stopped and watched, like, the first half from the catwalk because all of the seats was full. That was one. I saw him in Chicago State. So this was somebody that we would, and our team was good because I think Thornwood went downstate like either 2 out of my 4 years or 3 out of my 4 years. But we would be like, yeah, we cool with y'all niggas, but we trying to see bro play. So we would go to different games, different tournaments throughout the city, just seeing them play. And then, so that's really where the connection came from. And then the fact he was drafted by the Bulls, because Memphis is right down the road. We saw the Final Four run. We knew everything he would do. We watched him with Mean Streets. Yes, Eddie Curry went there. Cliff Floyd went there. We got a few guys that went to the league, but going to these different games, G, and then seeing him come back to the city and do what he did with the Bulls, bro, it was next level. It was something that we all wanted, and we all have really been down on the Bulls, since Mike had left. We had, salute the captain, shout out to Kirk Heinrich, Ben Gordon. We had a couple guys that we rock with, but overall that team, those teams weren't doing much. So when he came in and added that spark and started to carry that team, and then even with the, why can't I win the MVP? And then going out and actually doing it, it was special. It was a special time to be in Chicago. It gave you a lot of pride in where you were from. And it was just tough because all of the rehabs, everybody talks about, his prime was short. To me, he never had one because he was really still ascending when he got hurt. And all of those surgeries and rehabs, he wasn't able to add to his game. But like, had he been able to do that, the sky was the limit. And you're talking about a guy who we saw him, I forgot which podcast he was on, but he talked about how, he was modeling himself after Kobe, where he was like, yeah, I'm not partying. I'm not going out. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to work. So imagine if, instead of those rehabs, he's able to maximize his work ethic and continue to pour into himself what he would have been able to do. So for him to still last 16 years, I think, it goes without saying he's our Grant Hill, he's our Penny Hardaway, but being from Chicago is always going to be a different feel to it. So, it was, even though he hasn't been, a truly impactful player for a minute, when the announcement hit, I was like, damn, G, like it's really over. It was one of those people that you always going to root for him. And, I think saying he a legend in the city really don't do it justice, like, especially the South Side. Like, everybody love D.Rose. Only people that don't love D.Rose is transplants and the racist white folks. That's it.
People. And Joe Cowley.
Yeah, Joe Cowley.
There definitely needs to be a statue of Derrick Rose in Inglewood.
Oh, 100%.
And he's 100% getting his jersey retired. Let's cut the shit. He's 100%.
Okay.
Like, he's getting his jersey retired. That goes without question. And he will make the Hall of Fame. There's never been an MVP to not make the Hall of Fame. He's gonna make the Hall of Fame.
I hope so. I would love nothing more for GD to be in the Hall of Fame. That would be amazing for the South.
Hey, G, before we switch, you shout out to his books, y'all. The funniest explanation ever. That picture when he was throwing up the forks. Bro was like, we was in Memphis, so I was throwing up the M's to let them know I was happy to be there. Gee, I was fucking crying. Like you tried it, bro. I feel
that is GD, bro.
Funny as hell.
That is G. We would love to see. That probably is a GD in the Hall of Fame. We gotta do our research.
It's definitely a GD in the Hall of Fame.
Mo Cheeks one of the most.
I think Mo Cheeks is a stone or something like that, bro. He might be. We gotta do.
He go back to El Rukin days. He might have been the El Rukin.
Yeah, he old.
Yeah, that's
Kevin Garnett of Vice Lord. Kevin Garnett was saying Lord and shouting out all the travelers and shit.
Yeah, that nigga shout out the travelers. on his Hall of Fame. You said him and Zebo greatest GDs of all time.
Yeah, Zebo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nigga, that Zebo MTV Cribs episode, legendary.
When he had the picture of Larry Hoover?
Yes, it got the 6-point star on the pool table and on the floor. Nigga.
Yeah, man.
David Stern called him immediately, nigga.
What is this?
I just say this, and then we'll move on to the final topic of the local hour is, Derrick, I think, too, is somebody, if you know about the history of the South Side, you know the history of Simeon, what also makes the story great is that he did what everybody hoped Benji would do. Benji's life got cut short, and he wasn't able to do that. Benji got killed 4 years before I was born, but I knew about those stories early, bro. Like that was just everybody. Like even him wearing 25, that's the honor at Simeon. Everybody wears Benji's number. You know what I'm saying? And so that's also why I think what he did was so incredible, man. So much love, respect to Derrick Rose. When he gets his jersey retired, I will be at the United Center. I will break my Bulls spending money on the Bulls boycott. Come see folks' number again in the rafters. So
triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not